everybody is starting to ask why AI adoption is even slower than they thought it would be. Why is it that AI is not moving faster for organizations or businesses? I have a pretty specific opinion. I am a technical solutions architect in a senior role in strategy, working with small to medium sized businesses. My name is Ernest. If you haven't already joined or liked and subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. We talk about AI and how that intersects with actual real time adoption and usage in a very real, very understandable way. I have pretty specific focuses with manufacturing, finance, and tech, but I love to talk about it across the spectrum. So drop a comment, let me know what industry you're in, where you're watching from, and make sure you tap in with the other resources in the description for this video to make sure you kind of stay on Dave there. But anyway, there's a pretty big influencer in the space by the name of David Shapiro who dropped a pretty solid breakdown that was titled The Great AI Paradox. Business leaders are clearly saying that they need AI. I think you've seen many of those articles, if not news in general at this point. But business leaders are having a hard time proving that it's working, right? As somebody who is actually spending time building enterprise AI systems every day, I agree with most of what David Shapiro said, but let me take this even further. Adoption isn't just slow, it is structurally stuck. And a lot of the companies who are involved don't even know it yet. So David is right. Most AI projects get killed because the AI just cannot, the value cannot be measured. But here's what's missing, right? These organizations don't have data lineage, observability, or cost accounting to even track return on investment of AI. How are you or your business planning to measure AI's business impact when you don't even have an auditing trail for your own pipelines from source to insight? So we have to stop pretending here at some point that time saved equals value. Until your AI starts to augment output or improving throughput or even capturing dollars, it is just automation theater. Most companies treat artificial intelligence or data operations in general like it's still just IT, shoving it under risk or finance or operations somehow and waiting for magic. There's no dedicated budget, there's no dedicated leadership, there's no standalone authority. This is not just a tech problem. This is an organizational chart problem. The orgs are structured like it's 2005. You can't modernize without a modern structure. There's no spear projects that will scale until AI has a seat at the leadership table, not buried under three levels down with somebody who still prints emails. You can't adopt what you don't understand here, right? And to be even more frank, most business leaders still don't get artificial intelligence. They've outsourced understanding it to consultants, folks who would hand them decks, not systems. Meanwhile, their engineering teams are terrified because the data is still a mess. The governance just is not close to being ready, and legal still has 400 questions. You need hybrid leaders, people who speak product, compliance, and tensor ops. Right now, you would call those unicorns. Until that changes, most organizations will stay in pilot purgatory. So, David Shapiro and his group, the folks who are in maybe Silicon Valley or tech, a little different from my background, have said to go for the vertical spear use cases, targeting deployments with high return on investment. Okay, I completely agree. Yes. But here's the rub: scaling a spear without a shared infrastructure is just going to create more siloed chaos. So let's say your legal department automates contracts with GPT or some other source. That's great. Wonderful. Time saved. I'm sure you've written it off on man hours. Now try rolling that into finance or HR. Different data, different vendors, different compliance needs, different processes. Without shared scaffolding, clean data, governance, policy, observability, every single spear becomes a brittle one off. You're not building a product, you're building an ecosystem. Most leaders still think that this is app development. So, David's last point was human centric return on investment, reduced burnout, higher retention, more joy at work. This is slept on. It's real and it's measurable. We're seeing it in our own clients. When you automate the grunt work, people stay. They experiment more, they innovate more. That's where compounding ROI shows up, not in quarterly metrics, but in cultural velocity. So David's great AI paradox is spot on, but it's not a paradox if you've seen what's under the hood, like my team or I have here. When it comes to being a solutions architect or having hands-on experience, most enterprises just are not ready for artificial intelligence because they were never ready for data. Until they clean up their governance process, restructure leadership, and build real pipelines, not just slide decks, they're going to keep spinning their wheels and spending a tremendous amount of money. If you're a leader watching this and you think AI adoption just needs more tools or pilots, you're solving the wrong problem. So, like and subscribe and drop a comment. What's the number one thing that's slowing down AI adoption at your company? And if you're ready to stop pilot purgatory and actually scale, let's talk. Visit the link in my bio, go straight to the website. Have a great day.